Yes, 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 it is Pacific Mornings with Becky and Alfred. It's 15 minutes past 8 o'clock. We want to welcome you back to our program Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining us in this space right now. It is exciting to catch up with a guest who is in studio right now. She's going to be talking about Pacific Learners. It's an online platform. It's aimed to address the social health and well-being and cultural issues concerning our young Pacific learners. Joining us today is none other than the co-founder, Ofa Lewis. So we just want to say malo alpito. Thank you so much for coming into the studio today. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Well, Ofa, look, let's sit back and relax. Look, we just want to say, share a little bit about where you're from. Of course, you know, when we were off air, I said, are you Tongan? And then you said yes, and then that was the magic word right there. Like,
Excuse me, ladies, this is, let's stick to the script, please. Thank you very much on behalf of all the non-spoken people.
Where do you actually hail? Are you from Auckland?
I was born in Tonga, actually, and then and grew up here. So parents immigrated here when I was like 4, so all of my school life was here. Mum's from Ha'apai, dad's from Vava'u. So yeah, full Tongan. Agnes.
Thank you very much if anyone's listening out there. But the reason,
Happy now, Aggie?
yes, I am very happy. Ofa, look, you're here because I saw a little online platform while I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw Pacific Learners and thought, oh, what is that? Now, can you just maybe share a little bit about maybe the concept? Where did it even begin?
Yeah, the concept of Pacific Learners came out of what we saw was the impact of COVID on our tamariki. We have an SEE based in South Auckland, and we witnessed firsthand the impacts of what the past year has had on our tamariki. Their whānau have gone through uncertainty. There's been loss of jobs, there's been reduced hours, there's been extended hours, and so all those stresses and how it's impacted on our tamariki, I don't think actually that we fully understand just how much it has. And I'd like to use an example, Agnes. I've got a little girl, she's 4. She's been in our centre since she was a baby. So she walks around the centre like she owns the place. So her sense of belonging is actually quite strong. And she sings during mat time at the top of her lungs, really outgoing. During the varying levels, absenteeism was rampant. There were stretches of days and there were weeks where she wouldn't come to school, and also absenteeism was sporadic. Just attendance was sporadic, etc. So when she actually did return on a regular basis, we noticed that she was much more withdrawn and just much more introverted. And if I may, there's another example of a 4-year-old boy who, bless his soul, he starts school in a couple of months' time. He joined us about a year and a half ago. Joined us, couldn't speak a word of English, and he was always wanting to be on his own in the corner. So over time we worked with him. He's got the basic English words to set him up for a classroom. He got to a stage where, before he leaves, he's got a bestie now at school, and he's, giving him a handshake before he leaves. And he leaves in about 2 months' time. So it's the impact that it's had on our tamariki. Again, I just have to go back to, do we actually know what the last 12 months has done to our children?
So, of course, listening to those examples there, your audience then is our young learners, obviously from a baby right up to, I would say, intermediate, or?
Well, I'd say around maybe 4 would be an age where our audience, the actual children, would start, right through to primary school age. Yeah.
And what's the actual key messaging with the animated stories that you have online?
Our key messages, so I guess the overarching key messaging that we're looking to delve in is, as you mentioned before, was the cultural, the social, the health and the well-being sort of issues or concerns that we have on our children. An example of that would be, so for social, we would address the social aspects by looking at subjects such as overcoming anxiety, building resilience, how to go through depression, and worrying is okay to worry. that's actually top of mind for me because we just finished a session with our contributors just last Saturday. So we've got a series. The next 3 videos are going to be targeting, those messages and those topics that we don't usually talk about.
Ofa, with the animation, like how often do these videos actually get released? Is this something that's just a weekly thing?
We are, so we're targeting to get at least to 20. So we're targeting 20 videos and we'll be releasing them between 1 or 2 videos every week. So we've already had 2 released in the last week, and we've got one that just dropped last night. So yeah, you can expect 1 to 2 every week.
I have gone on and I have watched a couple of those videos that have come out already. Have you had any sort of feedback? How has it been received with the community so far?
It's so heartwarming because the feedback we've received has been so encouraging. There's been questions around when's the next video coming. These are things that are awesome to talk about, and sometimes actually when we did tell them what our topics were that were coming up, they're like, those are the topics that we need to have. So we've had educators show them to their classrooms, show them to their classes, and just passing these videos around. The transition to school one, which is pertinent to my little boy who turns 5 in a couple of months' time. That's been viewed over 3,000 times so far, and it's only been less than a week. So the need is there, and it's been great feedback.
So not only just online, you actually get to go into schools and present this?
No, they've been taking the platform online and sharing the videos and sharing so it's either on the Facebook page or we've got them also on our website. So they just they take that and they send us messages saying, I've just shown this to my class, they love it, or they've just shown this to my children and it's really refreshing. So that's the feedback we've had so far.
So when I watched it online and the story I think that was going on in regards to anxiety, when you pick a subject, what's the actual, how do you get together and, because I heard the talent, you've got little kids who are acting out, the animated thing. So what is it that you put the story around? How are you trying to give solutions to our young kids?
Well, it actually starts from the team that we do have with Pacific Learners. We've got an amazing, strong team of contributors, and they're educators that come from not just ECE, but we also have a new entrance teacher and a deputy principal in the team as well. And it's their real life stories. So they come in with their stories, and it's their real life experiences that we come around with. We would post what we would say, okay, so here's the topic. Everyone would tell their stories that are related to those topics, and then we would then go back in and try and get those animated, try and match the stories of videos to the goodness that we've gotten from all of those planning sessions, and then we would release them.
This project seems very personal, which I love, because obviously during COVID-19, right, a lot of people had full-time jobs, but then they all of a sudden had to find a sort of a side hustle, because it caused people to, I suppose, either lose jobs or even find what they actually really want to do. This animation, I have never seen anything like it using Pacific characters. So what was the drive then, really, just to make it just about Pacific kids?
I guess it goes back to the fact that our own centre is made up of children. 90% of my centre is made up of children from Pacifica descent. I'm quite, it's a place that's really dear to me, and that's what we know about. And I feel like I couldn't speak about any other culture except what I've been brought up in and what I've seen over my many years.
No, that's great. So, Ofa, where can, as we wrap up, where can people find the Pacific Learners? What social media platforms can they try and follow?
Well, if you firstly go to our website, pacificlearners.co.nz, it's got all of the social media tabs there. So if you click on the Facebook tab, etc., it'll take you directly to our other platforms.
Nice. Look, that is Ofa Lewis, who has joined us, the co-founder of Pacific Learners. It is a online platform aimed to, again, address the social health and well-being and cultural issues concerning our young Pacific Learners. Again, we want to say malo pito hosi I mea mai ia honi. Thank you very much, Ofa.
Malo Ines.
All right, that is us here on 531 PI, bringing Pacific people